And I'll swing you another welcome to the fitbox Business Academy again. Now, something just to keep in note, if there's anything that you prefer not to be recorded or captured, towards the end of each session, we will have a time for Q&A with our coaches of the week. So specifically on their topic that they are hosting. Now, those Q&A portions are not recorded or uploaded. So that will be your chance to jump in, ask any questions that you don't want maybe shared with anyone else outside of the Academy itself. But generally speaking, we're all pretty chill here. I think we've got a really good geographic spread around and a good sort of mix in. Definitely a lot of CrossFit based people here, but definitely a lot of independents as well that I can see. Sean James is just joining us now from Glen Innes. I'll just wait till he taps in, but let me grab my slides up. Now, today's session, guys, is locked in for an hour, but honestly, we'll probably rip through it a little bit quicker. Just like give you back a little bit of space in your day, which is great. But weekly, I would usually say to allow 90 minutes, just so you can get the most out of the content that we can give for you guys as well. So I've just got Kiriana joining too. I'll just let her jump in. Hey, Jimmy, can you hear me okay? James, sorry. I always call you Jimmy. I'm going to pretend that's a yes. If you guys want to use the reactions instead of unmuting at any time as well, that's totally cool. Yeah, there you go. Thumbs up. Thanks, buddy. If you are in an area where you want to turn on your camera, I super appreciate that. Belle knows this. It's always nice to speak to faces rather than names on a screen. So that's all good. Hi there, Kiriana. Welcome. Awesome. All right, guys, I'm just going to share my screen with you now. We'll run through the content that we've got sort of prepped up for today. Fingers crossed you can see this now.
Yep.
Any thumbs up? Oh, yeah, I've got some voices too. Even better. Loving that. Oh, no. What did I do? My goodness. A little bit rusty over here, guys. Sorry. So if you reference the first version of the fitbox Business Academy, intake 1 that we ran was actually before Christmas. So it's been a bit of downtime for us, but what that's really let us do is build on the content that we've previously presented, which is why awesome people like Belle, and you'll also probably see Scott at a later time, and Shay will be jumping back in from time to time to take advantage of that extended content. So we are going to dive straight in. And like I said, welcome to the fitbox Business Academy. So the Academy itself is a project that is run by fitbox, previously with support of, again, Faster as well. And it's basically off the back of a Queensland government grant that was given to us to provide business education for Queensland gyms and businesses. However, we did establish that there was a lot of value in what we were presenting, and we wanted to offer it to a wider audience of people in other states. So we've extended that out in this intake and the following to gym owners of any location to take part and to take advantage of the free content. So what that actually looks like is that we are now a 7-week course. All of our content is delivered online or via phone if you've got one-on-one sessions with any of our coaches. And I will be showing you how to access what we call the Academy portal, which is where our future calls will be hosted, and a few other things that I do need for you guys to tick off just this week before we head into the content as a whole. So yes. A little bit about me. My name's Hannah. Hi. I've probably met a few of you before via email, if not in person. I know there's a couple of fitbox clients here, but I do work for fitbox. I am the GTM coordinator for that space, but basically you'll see me if you speak to us about the fitbox IQ software, any questions or member inquiries. I do some stuff in sales and marketing and whatnot, but really the Academy project is what I originally joined the team for. So it's something I feel super passionate about. So we will definitely mention stuff about fitbox throughout the case. So if you have any extra questions on, what that IQ software looks like or what features and functions it might have related to any of this content, please sing out or reach out to me separately and we can take it offline. Easy. But first, before we get too involved in any of the actual content delivery, I wanted to show you guys the portal. So this is what we call the Academy portal. And like I mentioned, our future Zoom calls are actually hosted through this portal here. So this ensures that any of our content that is being delivered is getting delivered only to people who have registered for it. and that the right people are getting access to that. So some of you may have received an email already from the Academy. It occasionally comes from a WordPress email saying that you have a user profile set up for this particular website, and it will ask you to go in and set up a password. So if you haven't gotten that, please let me know. You'll need to do a password reset immediately on it because they're all set to a terribly complicated thing. And this is where you will log in and access our future sessions. So where that actually lives, if I jump in over here, I'm just going to drop you guys a little URL in the chat so you can check it out after the session, is academy.fitboxcorp.com. And then from there is where you can log in. So when you've logged into the Academy portal, what you'll see then is these Academy modules. So each week we'll have a new module released, and you'll be able to click into that and see each module's content, tick through it, and also get into those Zoom calls, like I mentioned, that we host weekly. So what that looks like, you can actually do this pretty well on a mobile, to be fair, but ideally on a browser, I think works best. Oops, just a late joiner in here. There we go. Hi there, friend. You can catch up on the recording of this one at the start. I'm sorry. Awesome. So yes, so clicking through here, you can see that we've got on this little sidebar each of our weekly sessions, session 1, session 2, session 3, and they drop down to individual topics in there based on our content. So we'll have a little, session preview. Here's what we're touching on this week. If you jump in there now, you'll be able to see the content uploaded for this particular talk. And then once you hit down the bottom of this page, you click complete, and it will go into the next section of that particular module. So generally speaking, the feedback from our first cohort is that this stuff is pretty easy to navigate, but if you do have any issues, please shout out and I can walk you through anything you have trouble accessing. So our modules, the weekly modules, our sessions, also known as modules, they're released on a Monday weekly. I've got that set up to release at 6 a.m. So you'll get a little preview of the week, what topics will be covered, who the coach is who's covering it, also a few of their own links, profiles, emails, that kind of thing, if you want to reach out to them. Any of the resources that are provided by our coaches, like for example, slides like this, or if they have any additional resources they would like to give you guys, will all be downloadable through the portal as well. So each session will have a resources button that you can click, and you'll be able to see all of those resources once they've been uploaded after the session is complete. So like I mentioned, once you do a topic on a module, you'll need to click complete to progress to the next one. Any questions so far? I'll just keep rambling if not. Cool, love that for me. Little break for a meme because I love it so much, particularly love Baby Yoda because I think he's adorable. But I'm sure this will probably hit a little close to home for many people. I'm sorry, Belle, I should have updated the meme between intake 1 and 2, but I still think it's funny and applicable. Obviously, owning a gym is not all fun and glamour, and I know that a lot of people get into owning gyms because they are likely a personal trainer who don't want to boss anymore, or they really like fitness and so they figure it's a good career path to get into. No doubt, I'm sure many of you can attest to how that initial perception has probably shifted a lot in the process of owning and running a business around the fitness industry. So it's a pretty unique industry with its own challenges and pressures, particularly off the back of this, this COVID time. So I think in providing the Academy with its specific coaches tailored towards our industry, I'm really hoping we can give you guys a huge amount of value from this. So that's the intention with running the Fitbox Business Academy. A little more info on our Zoom sessions, and I'm sure quite a few faces here have been pulled in by this particular one. Especially Jason is a new coach for this intake who will be present with us on intake 2 and 3. Certainly one that we are super excited about. And it's going to be really great to get some of his insights from the NC Fit Collective Empire, which I genuinely can't wait for. So our sessions, like I mentioned, are once weekly, and allowing 90 minutes is probably a safe bet for that. Typically, you may wrap up a little bit earlier, but we'll just see how we go and how many questions you have for our coaches. We face a new topic every week, so a different coach with a different expertise, and I will show you what that schedule looks like on the next page as well. Basically, these sessions are your chance to pick the brains of our coaches in their various fields of expertise. Ask them as much or as little as you like. They will be presenting some base data, but again, you will get a chance to ask them your specific questions at the end of the presentation. Like I mentioned, those Q&As are not uploaded. So really that's your incentive to come along and make sure you're attending these sessions in person to get really the best value out of the Academy here. So be sure that you, as much as you can, this is only 6 more weeks after this week. If you can block that out in your calendar, I'm certain there is a ton of value for yourselves and your businesses that can be pulled from this. So please don't waste the opportunity. Now, with respect to our sessions coming up in the session times, this original Zoom session that we are holding now is, of course, at this 12:30 time slot if you're in Queensland, 1:30 if you're in our southern states. However, moving forward, you guys get to choose when these sessions will be held for the following 6 weeks. So one of your tasks off the back of today's meeting is to go on to the Academy portal, complete your login, reset your password, access our first sessions module, and complete the poll to vote on when the best time is that suits you to attend these sessions for the next 6 weeks. So I've got a few different time slots there and a few different days. Most popularly, that lunch slot is usually the one that gets the most amount of votes. But if an evening would suit you guys better, I've put a couple of evening times up there as well. We and the coaches are happy to be sort of at your whim. So if you have a preference, make sure your voice is heard. If you don't vote, you don't get a say. So I need you guys to complete that voting. I'm closing that off on Friday so that we can obviously communicate out to everyone for next week when those sessions will be taking place moving forward. Now, there will be one exception to that time, and obviously it will be because of our international coach. So week 5 will be basically that 1 week where we may have a small amount of variance, but I will come back and confirm that once we have our chosen time slot. But here is our session delivery schedule. So the topics that we'll be covering off over the next 6 weeks. Next week's session in particular, I think was one of the sessions from feedback that people found the most value from. And that will be being hosted by Keenan. He's down here in our bottom left, who works for a company called Costco. Now, he is a qualified accountant, CFO, and owns 2 gyms himself. So if we're talking about numbers and who knows what the numbers should be, this is your guy. So Keenan is a brilliant resource, not only in communicating what you should be tracking within your business, but he has a great amount of data based on all the clientele he currently has and can provide you guys with some ideas of benchmarks in terms of where your particular business sits in the industry itself. So he will be doing the first session next week. And off the back of that, you can also book in a one-on-one time with him to sit down with your business's specific numbers and have a look with him on those. So brilliant one. Definitely don't miss that. And Keenan's also just a lovely guy. For those CrossFitters, he actually managed to finish 22.2, which, basically shits all over me. Pardon my language. So he's definitely a fitness guy as well as being an incredibly smart numbers guy. So following on from week 3, we've had a bit of a shuffle in the order. So our staffing, hiring and training expert, Tim, second in line here from a company called Healthy Nation, is bringing some really cool ideas about how you guys can hire the best staff, keep the best staff, some training processes he'd recommend you have in place. And he is an education expert in the fitness industry. Jumping on next, we have digital marketing and systemizing lead gen with Adam Barbero. Some really cool insights from that session that I literally took away to the fitbox business as well. So I certainly recommend that one too. Obviously, Jason Khalifa hardly needs an introduction, but he will be speaking to how you can create more wealth as a gym owner for yourselves as well as your coaches and their families too. So he's looking a bit broader into the community aspect from the business perspective. So that would be great. Hayden Thornycroft is another name that some people in the CrossFit space may know of, but essentially Hayden brought about the business that imported FitAid into Australia and is now running a business mentoring group himself. So he'll be speaking to mentorship, not only when you should seek a mentor as a business owner, but also how you behave as a mentor to your staff, coaches, and members as well. So mentorship as a larger sort of whole. And last but not least, Cody is our website guru. So he will be looking at website design and optimization. And we did some really cool one-on-one reviews of current websites in that session in the last intake. So literally pulling up some of our attendees' websites and going, hey, what's your feedback based on our current layout? So I think there was a few people who found that one quite valuable as well. And now on top of this, we also have 2 online replays of sessions that we ran last intake. And that was in regards to revenue diversification opportunities. And also we had a session hosted by Blue Water lawyers on tax law, contracts, employment, leases, like a great amount of information on that too. We simply have just moved those online because we're a bit pushed on the timeline off the tail end of the open. So those are available now for you to review at any time during this cohort here. So if you want to click in and have a look at that, feel free. Tax and law can be a bit of a dry subject, I'm not going to lie, but there were some really valuable nuggets in there, honestly, especially when you think about things like what's a red flag in a lease agreement, for example. What can you or can't you do when you're renting from somebody? So I would still definitely recommend checking that one out. Maybe split it in 2. It's a little dense in the delivery. So there's some great stuff coming up for sure. Now, another step that I need from you guys to complete this week, like I said, when you log into the portal and do the poll for the Zoom sessions, we have an initial intake snapshot survey. So the purpose of this survey, number 1, is completely anonymous, but really is twofold. So we want you guys to start thinking about where your business is at with honesty, and help you assess your knowledge at the moment at this stage. So at the start of the academy. What we then obviously want to measure at the end of it is how you may have progressed during that time, what you may have learned, and also this just really helps my reporting with the government. So it's, like I said, completely anonymous, but it will have some good questions on there to get you thinking about maybe some goals that you specifically want to tick off in these subjects across the span of the next 6 weeks, and make sure that you're thinking about stuff that you can bring as questions to each of our coaches each week. So that will also be on that portal in session 1 to complete, and I will be chasing you if you haven't done it. Now, another goodie that we have as part of the Academy is a partnership with Filex. So these guys are one of the leading fitness education providers in a more corporate professional sense. And they're offering a 12-month free premium access of all of their information to the attendees of the Academy, which is awesome. So you can claim that also through the portal. Oh, thanks, Kiriana. That's really terrible of me. I'm so glad Jason's not seeing these slides. I have certainly typoed his name. I'll be completely honest with you. I have, haven't I? There you go. I literally put that slide together today because I realized I hadn't updated the schedule from the last round yet. So thank you for grabbing that. Sorry, back to Filex. So you'll also get free access to the virtual sessions that are running in May. But again, you can register on the portal for those if you're interested in doing some more learning from a more sort of formalized education perspective through those guys, which is great. I like memes. It's always nice to break up a presentation with memes. So this little seal is one of my favorites. But if any time in the next 6 weeks that you guys need a hand with anything, you can always reach out to us one of 2 ways, either academy@fitboxcorp.com. And please, I would recommend using that email, not my actual other email, just to make sure that somebody is attending that email. Or you can directly message us through the portal as well. So there's a contact us link through there, which will land you in this inbox anyway. So that's the best way to get additional help if you need it. All right. Giving you guys like a lot of information so far. There hasn't been a lot of questions yet, apart from my spelling error. So if you do have any, now is your time to speak. But if you don't, these are our next steps for today. So like I mentioned, if you haven't received that email to your inbox, please check your junk mail. Let me know if you need a password reset. You need to go and log on to the portal, make sure you can access that portal, reset the password if you can't find yourself an access to it. We need to complete the session poll times. We need to do the snapshot survey. And if you're interested in registering for the Filex membership, do that as well. And like I said, if you have any questions or issues with any of those steps, you can reach me at academy@fitboxcorp.com. How are we feeling about all of that huge amount of information?
That's good.
Yep.
I will need I tried to log into that earlier and it bounced me back out. I'd timed it out, I think, so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just hit password reset. Oh, apologies, guys. I forgot to let you know your username for the Academy portal is your first name and last name's initial. So in Matt's example, it's Matthew W. Jason, you'll be Jason E, etc. So if you're trying to log in with a username, use that one. If not, it's the email you registered with. Awesome. Sorry if you can hear the truck in the background. Great. All right. So for those who, if you are speaking to anyone who wasn't able to make this session, I will be uploading this recording onto the portal as well. So you can go back and review it at any time should you need to. Same thing for our coach sessions again. Other than that, I'm going to give you guys half an hour back in your day if you don't need anything else from me. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. All righty. Well, guys, make sure you get that poll done. And I will see you next week for Keenan's session on the important things we need to measure and manage. You'll also get some email reminders out weekly, which is a change bell, with our session preview, our coach preview, and also the link to log on to the portal so you don't forget. A few of you may have also received your SMS reminders. Please expect those also. We like to be very communicative over here. Wonderful. Looking forward to sharing the next couple of weeks with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Wonderful afternoon, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.